Oh look, more big old anime titties. I mean, Aether Gazer. So yeah, this is Aether Gazer. This is another one of the weird games I've been playing lately, just while I'm trying to sort everything out. In truth, this is possibly one of the best games I've actually ever played. It is, if this is your style of game, it is just so good. Again though, it is a gacha game. However, unlike the previous one that I showed in another video, Snowbreak Containment Zone, where I said that was one of the cheaper ones, this is the cheapest one I've ever come across. To do like a full rotation buy of a character in most gacha games is normally like £90 to £100 for me. Normally. In Snowbreak, you're looking at like 80. In this, it's 71. I'm aware this is still a lot of money, but in terms of like gacha game, like this is huge. So like for me, that's like already a huge bonus. Add in what I believe to be some of the best character designs that I've seen in a game like this ever. They're well proportioned, they're well stylized. They obviously wiggle, you know what I'm on about. But it's both male and female. Not everything is always about the plot. For those that know, they know. It's just generally just a very well-rounded game with multiple different styles and dynamic areas of play. And what I mean by dynamic areas of play is every character is literally very different, has its own built-in mechanic that you need to learn how to use and utilize within not just your individual character, but your team setup. You might press one ability and it works one way. Add in another character and it will work a different way. Add in a third character, because you have a team of 3 that are active on the field at all times, and it will work an entirely different way. So learning all of these interactions with all of these different characters is actually just generally part of the fun and one of the main reasons I really, really love this game. Along with the fact that, you know, things wiggle. There are a few areas of this game that are questionable, like all of the characters are based on gods from Egyptian, Norse, Chinese, and something else, completely forgotten, mythology. Now obviously, with the Norse mythology, we have a Thor. No, not that one. No, not Chris Hemsworth. This one. Yeah. Don't know where this one came from, but we get a tiny girl with a massive hammer. So yeah, let's just say there are some interesting mix-ups, but overall I feel like the design choice is actually really, really good. When it comes to the controls, it's actually quite interesting. Other than like navigating the home screen, if you're playing on PC, your mouse is basically useless. All of the controls are WASD for moving, and all of the combat is J, U, I, and O. You are then able to use R, 1, 2. So it's literally like a gaming pad, but on your keyboard. Or if you are actually using a controller, it has full controller support, which is also pretty damn nice for those people that like using controllers. The game itself kind of functions along the lines of something a bit like a fighter game, like Tekken or Street Fighter, something along those lines. It's very instance-based, so you sort of load into an instance with varying degrees of difficulty depending on where you are within the story or what areas you have unlocked or the materials you need, etc., etc. And you can actually get yourself into some pretty hectic, challenging fights. It's not always completely easy, and some of the things in which you have to do would be sort of like the boss is immune. Like you can't actually kill him, but you can damage him, and you get points, or your rewards are based on the amount of damage that you did to him over like a 2-minute period, which is kind of a normal way in which these style of games do things. But if you're not used to it, it can be quite jarring, being like, hey, why isn't this boss dying? And why is it saying, like, mission complete when I didn't kill the boss? Well, the idea wasn't to actually kill the boss. The idea was to do as much damage as possible, and your rewards are determined by how much damage you do. Obviously, this being a gacha game, they are pretty prominent on their events, as well as what are called banners. Banners are basically the rotation of characters or new characters coming out. The events, however, in this game are massive. They are absolutely huge, and they span months. The current one going on right now has already been going on for about a month, and there's still like 30 days left on it. I'm pretty new to this game, so I don't know if this is just the event that happens around like the Christmas period and they extend it so that they can all have like a nice long Christmas break or whatever. But still, like, this is like a month and a half pushing 2 month long event. It is pretty damn huge. It's not all just open at one time. There'll be like some parts will be open like for the first 10 days, then it closes, and then another part opens and it closes, and the first part opens again, and then a third part opens. I was like, it's all essentially all over the place, which is actually pretty damn engaging, and it also keeps the game pretty fresh so that you're never really constantly spamming the same things on repeat, or at least at the point I'm at, I'm very rarely doing the same things on repeat. Everything's kind of like new, or I've only ever done it like 2 or 3 times. It's quite encapturing, really, the amount of content that is able to fit into one game, and the fact that it all runs flawlessly as well. I very rarely see any form of glitching, even like visual glitches. Don't really see them. The worst that I come across, and I'm pretty sure it's intended, obviously being a game of this style, there's some jiggle. Partial to a bit of jiggle. However, in this game, it's like not only did they give it jiggle, they also turned off gravity. So sometimes things just kind of go everywhere. It never goes like through anything, like the meshing is all solid, there's no clipping or anything. But at the same time, it's you kind of look at things and you're like, really? Really? A lot of the game, particularly within the events, is point-based. So being able to track your overall performance and how you're doing, and you're getting better at the game and getting better characters and better gear and etc., like, and actually seeing your performance increase because it tracks all of it is actually quite rewarding. Seeing like how different teams perform, as well as how different compositions within those teams, whether it be gear, sigils they're called, actually perform is genuinely really nice, and you're able to like test and adjust not just what works better overall, but what works better for you and how you play. There's quite a lot of feedback that this game gives you, provided you know where to look, but it's pretty self-explanatory, to be perfectly honest. One thing that this game has over other gacha games of this style is, although it is still a little bit on the sexualized side, it is not very sexualized at all in comparison to so many others out there on the market. It's a bit more mature in its approach, minus the jiggle. For me, the largest negative of this game is the simple fact that it's not really on any form of gaming platform, Steam, Epic, etc. It is an independent download. I'll leave a link in the description just in case you want to check it out. It is free to play, like basically every other gacha, but it is an independent download with its own launcher, etc. But personally, I would argue that this one is actually 100% worth it if this is a game or a style of game that you personally do enjoy. It is pretty relaxed, but there is like a bit more of a competitive side to it if you wish to go down that route. Anyway, have fun, good luck, don't die. It's bad for the health.